Hello and welcome to the Join Dota League Season number 5 European Division 2. This is going to be a best of 2 series between Team Alpha and Rize Gaming. I'm GrandisV and I'll be joined by Mikelorus. Both teams currently with a mediocre performance in their group inside the Division 2 and are on the verge of being dropped down into Division 3 if they're not careful. So this is actually a pretty important matchup.
Yeah, I think the teams play like a total of 14-ish games or something like that. So they're running out of games to play if they're going to be sticking in Division 2. I think really this game is less about who's going to be moving on into Division 1 or very far away from that. And in fact, it might be impossible, but less than that and more so fighting to keep a spot or a chance to stay in Division 2, which is where these teams really want to be. It's a lot better than Division 3, that's for sure. But that being said, they are relatively similar as far as their scores are concerned, so I would expect an even fight.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll open up this draft with IOX, the Shadow Fiend, as well as Venge banned out in the first stage, and a first pick Batrider for Team Alpha, and a first pick Troll from Rize.
So Shadow Fiend Venge is, they're definitely powerful heroes, and they're actually very frequently first picked. It's just weird seeing them in those first ban slots. And, well, if you ban out the Vengeful Spirit, and Alpha have a pretty clear course of action. Batrider is usually brick-walled by that hero, or the big reason why you don't pick up a Batrider is because of the existence of Vengeful Spirit. But Rize kind of giving Alpha a free initiation tool right off the bat.
Yeah, and it's going to be very scary for them to work around. They do have an instant hex coming out from the line to somewhat deal with that, and maybe, just maybe, if Team Alpha don't have enough burst to bring down the Troll, they'll set him up for a situation where he can turn, but for now, I quite like Team Alpha's opening, and it looks really solid. They'll follow up that Batrider with the Juggernaut, two real big powerhouses.
Usually the Juggernaut is banned out, so it is, next to the Axe, probably the most banned out hero. Troll Warlord typically gets through a couple more times, but it's a dangerous hero to have, and it's a dangerous hero to have when combined with the Batrider. Just being able to hit a target for however long you have in the lasso, let's say like 2 seconds after dragging them back. That's a lot of time when you're talking about a usual Mask of Madness, very heavy Blade Dance stat build. You're going to be hitting very quickly, and well, Troll Warlord is usually tanky enough, or at least he builds tanky enough to not outright die to that. He's not going to be safe when that Juggernaut starts swinging. So Alpha, they have two incredibly powerful heroes, and Rize, their heroes are pretty powerful as well, but I would say they need a little bit more. They need a little bit more as far as, making them completely powerful, whereas for Alpha, these heroes stand pretty well by themselves.
Definitely. So we'll see Disruptor banned out by Team Alpha, so further securing the Batrider's initiation. One of the other supports that can be very annoying for him to deal with if you can catch him with a glimpse or with the static storm before he's able to get off that lasso. And then we'll see Chen taken out by Rize.
Yeah, so Rize seems to be Chen is not really a hero that you would ban out unless, first of all, you know that the enemy has a really good Chen player. That's a requirement. But also, typically teams are more willing to let Chen get through and take that risk. It is a powerful hero in the right hands, but you also have to play in a very specific role. Does get a lot more powerful when you are talking about a Juggernaut Chen combination. So I think in that regard, though this ban could be like not in the mind of Alpha, it is a dangerous combo to get rid of. Healing centaurs and hellbears and everything is just so hard to deal with.
Another one of the big ticket initiators is going to be banned out by Team Alpha in the Clockwork. Would have been really nice for Rize Gaming just to have any way to start fights on their own terms. And although, in theory, a Blink Lion can be really useful in that regard, that's not going to be coming out for a long time if this is played as a support, which it should be.
Yeah, so we do see games occasionally where Lion does pretty well, grabs a couple of kills and somehow manages to not die, and that's really nice if you could get that going, but that's not something that you could depend upon. As far as other initiators in the pool, I would say Brewmaster is probably going to be one of the most attractive ones, but definitely Batrider and Clockwork and Axe, of course, are the big three when you're talking about starting fights. So Alpha, as long as they grab any sort of silence, maybe grab a Skywrath Mage and then prepare for that possibility of the Brewmaster, then they're going to be fine. But for right now, Bristleback is going to be the pick.
Yeah, right now Rize Gaming have a very heavy brawling lineup and can be very scary, but right now they are lacking a way to get into Alpha's face, and they're going to abuse that in a little bit, or rather, pick up the Sniper afterwards. They don't have the greatest of front lines to keep the Snipers safe, but already it looks like Rize are going to have a hard time getting up into his safe zone, so to speak.
Yeah, and the Juggernaut isn't really going to be like a huge frontliner. Like it's not like a Bristleback as far as protecting a sniper. But if the Bristleback or Troll Warlord actually want to charge the sniper and try to get him killed, which they should want to, they're going to have to fight through Lasso and they're going to have to fight through Omni Slash. And Omni Slash is probably the most dangerous thing or the most useful thing to protect that sniper. Because if you're going to be running out of sniper, you're most likely going to be doing it alone. Therefore, Omni Slash is going to kick your ass. So yeah, it's going to be difficult for Rize to actually get at this sniper unless they pick up someone who's able to bypass all of that through blinks or whatnot. Someone like a Puck or a Queen of Pain is still on the table. And as far as supports are concerned, I don't think there are any sports that come to mind that would help them do that.
Yeah, I really would like to see that tempo controlling mid that you were talking about a little bit earlier. The Bach of the Queen Pain looks like a pretty good pickup for them here, but maybe they'll just snag their secondary support.
Yeah, so they would kind of like to have some sort of additional crowd control. Shaker is a possibility, although actually Shaker wouldn't be too bad if you just, stun straight to the sniper, then it'll let Bristleback Troll Warlord close that distance very quickly. I typically do like seeing Shakers up against Sniper, but it is already working with a 2.5-ish melee lineup then, so maybe they don't want to go for that right now. As far as what Team Alpha want to go for, they're looking for two supports, so Rize have a little bit more flexibility there.
Yeah. Right now, if they really want to go pretty greedy, I think a Sand King could also fit the bill for them, just offering another way to jump into the enemy team, having that Blink Burrow strike at their disposal. Team Alpha do have plenty of picks to somewhat punish that, but right now the supporting cast is looking pretty limited. They are going to go for that Queen of Pain.
All right, so pretty easy there. Also, Storm Spirit could have been a really good hero, but probably not going to be picked up by either of these two teams as they already have their three cores. So supports are going to be the name of the game, and Scarlet Mage is going to be that support. Two more supports are needed, and I actually do like the Sand King pickup from Rize right now. It'll give them another stun, which so far they are lacking. But also, look at the cores of Team Alpha. The odds of them leaving and looking for a Sand King who's in the jungle is very, very small.
Yeah, definitely so. We're going to see Shaker banned out by Rize, and well, let's see who else is left in the pool. Rubik, as far as supports are concerned, is pretty darn good and would work well decently for either side.
Yeah, Rubik just to have a guaranteed stun would be, nice for both sides, as you said. Queen of Pain needs some sort of additional crowd control answer, as Alpha don't really want to be relying on just the Ancient Seal, and aside from that, their stun situation is pretty damn bad, so they're going to need some extra CC. Shaker will hit the bin, and I expect, Rubik or someone like that to hit the bin as well. Think there's any consideration for a jungler here, like a straight-up jungler like an Enigma?
Yeah, it definitely could work out. It's a little bit concerning since neither team know exactly the support duo that's coming out, and Lion and Scarlet Mage can make for a very scary roaming combination, depending on who that secondary hero is, but definitely not out of the question. I think it's more likely that Team Alpha pick it up, though.
Yeah, I think that would be reasonable. Just seeing the entirety of the enemy draft and then making that decision afterwards is probably the way you want to go, and it is the way you want to go every single time. Centaur is not the hero I expected to be picked up from Rize. All things considered, it is a good hero versus what Team Alpha have. It's a hero to blink along with the Queen of Pain towards that sniper. But I think this is going to be a 4-position pseudo roaming Centaur, so he's most likely going to be pretty poor for this game.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how they utilize him. Centaur, as far as offlaners are concerned, or when he is played in that offlane role, does tend to be pretty slow in picking up that momentum, and maybe they'll be able to find it this game with some early kills, but honestly, I think going for something akin to just that Sand King, or something that can actually farm jungle effectively, might have been a little bit better for Rize. Only time will tell. Should be an interesting pick.
Yeah, well, Stampede is great at charging the sniper with everyone, so Omni Slash isn't going to be as much of a brick wall as I previously said. This is pretty greedy. Centaur, the only reason he works or works at all in the Rize lineup is because they have a Lion, so they'll be able to Hex and then close in with the pretty slow Centaur for that hoof stomp. It's not exactly the combo that you want to be doing all the time, but it's doable. It's powerful enough to make it work sometimes. And, well, going back to that jungle, it looks like Alpha are going to say that it is going to be safe enough to grab a jungle. Their lanes are going to be secure enough, and I think they are correct in that. Also because Sniper and Batrider are going to be fine. Juggernaut, Scarlet Mage, however really they want to lane that, those lanes should be more or less self-sufficient.
Yeah, I think Team Alpha's lineup is definitely a little bit more stable than Rise's, but if they do get off to an early start, get quick Blink Dagger on the Centaur or the Lion, depending on how the kills actually shake down, they could be in for a very scary mid game if they're actually able to get away with this draft.
Yeah, but for Alpha, they also have a lot of pushing power. Like once the Batrider grabs a blink, hopefully for him it's not going to be that slow. Together with the Juggernaut extra healing from that ward, as well as those Eidolons, then Rise are going to be in for quite a bit of early pressure. It might come to it where Batrider is going to have to go to the jungle and he's going to have to split farm with Enigma. That's never really what you want to be doing. But if the Batrider does grab a fast blink, and if Enigma is more or less just doing Enigma things, then the towers of Rise are going to be fairly pressured, and that is a dangerous situation to be in when you're running this kind of greedy support-ish Centaur. It is, well, I'm assuming, going to be a support-ish Centaur at this point.
Well, to introduce our lineups on the Radiant side of the map, we're going to have Matris taking the Troll Warlord. Looks like he's going to be heading towards the mid lane, starting out with the Quelling Blade first. Jalopy going to be handling the Queen of Pain. Miranda on the Bristleback and her supports Lurgy G on the Lion and Centaur by Crush Dota.
Not really sure where these guys are going to end up. Actually, Troll Warlord has Fervor level 1 with a Quelling Blade. This is a jungling troll build. I don't know if I've actually ever seen that before, at least not in a real game. Talk about that a little bit later, because right now, Alpha, they're sending the Batrider down to the bottom lane, played by She-Mad, frowny face. The Skywrath Mage is going to be played by Deathgun Senpai, and we have Bakemono on the Sniper. Following up in the jungle, Hari is going to be playing the Enigma, and Miggy is on the Juggernaut right now. But, man, Jungle Troll Warlord, you could jungle with everyone. Like, everyone in the game can jungle, and this is going to be not the worst, actually.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be really interesting to see how Rise pull this off, or if they're able to. Since the enemy team's running an Enigma, a solo Skywrath Mage probably can't put much pressure at all onto the Troll. In that sense, he should be pretty fine. Right now he's going to be eating away through these trees, so he can just go ahead and cliff jungle over at this medium camp to start off. Once they rebalanced Fervor and changed the way that it works at level 1, it was theory crafted that you could jungle with Troll, but it really does rely on getting a Morbid Mask. But I think he should be able to get to that point just through that medium camp alone.
Yeah, but he's also going to grab a bounty rune, which is going to help him so much, because he's looking for, probably, I'm just speculating, he's probably going to look for a very fast poor man shield with 2 slivers of agility. It gives him a lot of damage as well, but just grab a shield and you're going to be fine. So cliff jungling in this camp, and then choke point jungling, you could cut down this tree and then kill the hard camp while being hit by only one guy. There are many ways to optimize the jungle if you're going to be running the jungle with a less than standard hero. Troll Warlord is going to pale in comparison to the clearing power of Enigma. He simply can't do it as fast. He's not going to be as safe, but he'll get it done. And there is really no way that Alpha can punish this, aside from roaming out with their Enigma, but he's probably going to go to a different lane other than the enemy jungle if he's actually going to leave the lane at all.
Well, up towards top, that is going to leave the Centaur in the standard offlane role, currently just trading blows with the Skywrath Mage, and is doing just fine for himself, and probably will maintain that since he is up against just a dual lane.
Yeah, so he's going to be fine. Still to worry about this Blade Fury, which most likely is going to be kept at a low level, which to me is just, I hate seeing that because Blade Fury gets so ridiculous, but hey, if you get a secondary level, or even if you keep it at level 1, the Centaur has to worry about a lot of magical damage, so he's going to have to play things very safely up towards top, or decently safe. Then over towards mid, Jalopy versus Bakemono. It's been a while since I've seen Jalopy. He used to be on basically unknown, I believe, and he impressed me with the Storm Spirit play, but right now he should be doing decently versus the Sniper, assuming he gets his blink, not his blink dagger, his bottle rather, fast enough.
And it looks like that's going to be the case. Currently sitting at 5 and 3, perfectly serviceable amounts of farm, and will be able to sustain himself nicely. We're in for a pretty passive early game. It's probably going to be one of these offlaners to give up first blood. Who that is another story
I think it's
entirely.
mid. Jalopy Bakemono getting into a fist fight. Jalopy blinking? What? He blinked into the tower? Yeah. That was not right at all. Maybe he gets the kill anyway? No, dagger not doing enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to say. I don't think there's any reason to do that. Misclick, lag, I don't know what the issue was there.
Minimap, like you hit the minimap with your blink, is probably the most reasonable explanation.
Fair enough. Either way, it's going to give first blood to the sniper, and this is going to make the lane a lot harder for the Queen of Pain.
Top.
Now, without her bottle, they will be trading blows. Death Cut Senpai, and the double edge will secure the kill. Crush trying to make his way out against the Juggernaut, but this isn't going to happen. Best he can hope for is a neutral tonight, not going to get it. Jug going to get a second kill for his team.
Well, you get a kill for the Centaur, and even though feeding over your life as anyone to the Juggernaut is less than ideal, having an off lane get a solo kill gives him quite a bit of experience in gold, even though it is only on a support. So Centaur is going to be okay with that trade overall, but that mid lane death is just going to set Jalopy back so much, because Queen of Pain versus Sniper, it is a pretty good matchup for the Queen of Pain for the most part, but at a certain point, you're going to need a little bit of help and or just like a massive level advantage if you want to completely shut this guy down, because the dagger is very nice. Shadow Strike does do a lot of damage, and it's a good skill, but you're not really going to be able to outrace Bakemono with a Shadow Strike. It's just too slow.
Well, down in the bottom lane, the one we really haven't talked about much, it's pretty much the lane of sticks. Everybody involved is going to be holding on to one. It's really nice to have when you're dealing with the sticky napalm as well as the quill spam from either side respectively, but for the most part this lane's going to be pretty quiet.
Yeah, so the Batrider might get into a little bit of trouble, assuming LurGG. Well, he actually has a good wraparound right now. If a spike lands, that could be pretty bad. Although he doesn't have mana for a Hex. Unless he does, he's going to stick up, get the Hex, and here comes Miranda. Unfortunately for the Pig, he doesn't have that much mana either. Lots of damage being traded, but overall it's going to be the Centaur up towards top to take a fall. Assuming you just got a little bit too close to, oh yes, I love it, a level 3 Blade Fury. Man, leveling this is sweet. Jalopy over towards mid is going to get his head blown off. Queen of Pain now is just so far behind the Sniper, I don't even know if it's recoverable by herself.
No, definitely not. Probably going to require some sort of support rotation, but with the jungle troll, I don't think there's really anybody to do it. Speaking of him, he does have his Morbid Mask up and running, and Matrix is happily farming away. Currently looking pretty good when it comes to net worth, in fact the top of his team.
He's farming faster than the Enigma. I just assumed that no one would really, or a not standard jungler would be able to farm faster than the Enigma, and it could be that the Enigma is just farming less than ideally, but Matrice is doing very well in that jungle. Of course, this is going to mean that he has no Whirling Axes, and that means that his contribution to the team is going to be relatively limited. Up towards top, though, Crush is going to be spun down once again with the Ancient Seal Amplification. Centaur is so tanky, and he's not tanky enough. LurGG is going to come in with a two-man spike, trying to go for the Skywrath Mage, will fail that. However, he will get the Juggernaut instead. Trying to go for both, gets one anyway. Not too terrible there. LurGG going to be very happy about that.
He gets 2 levels off of that to top it all off. Honestly, I think that's somewhat okay for Rize, losing the Centaur, but giving Lion so much space. This is going to be a very fast finger of death for LurGG, and that can be a big difference inside the game. They will get a D-ward as well after the fact, so things are looking okay for Rize, although their mid lane is pretty disastrous.
Yeah, but outside of that mid lane, they're doing pretty darn well. Bottom lane is being absolutely crushed by the Bristleback right now. Batrider can't get any gold anywhere. And if you look at how the Enigma's jungling, pretty much bouncing between these two. Oh, wait, Lion's dying. Juggernaut with an Omni Slash, going to make that kill very, very easy. But the Enigma isn't really jungling in such a way that will let the Batrider get his own jungle going. So he has to stay down here. And he's getting experience, but he's not getting any gold. But in the top lane, it's going pretty well for Alpha. Mid lane's going very well for Alpha. And this Queen of Pain isn't really going to get started in this game for quite a long time.
Yeah, this is Juggernaut currently sitting at 4-1-0, and he's going to open up with another Blade Fury onto Crush. They bring in the Sniper, he's hasted up, and this is going to be yet another death for Centaur. Just not his game, really. Nice rotation coming out from mid.
I love seeing maxed out Blade Fury. Like, I think personally, I think it's bad design if you have a hero who wants to get stats on a passive. That just doesn't make for good Dota, but man, this skill does so much damage. Down towards bottom lane, She-Mad is going to be a little bit upset because here comes a Queen of Pain. Sonic Wave is there, Dagger should be lethal. TTP's come in, how are you going to land the stun onto Queen of Pain? Bottling up through the trees, Midnight Pulse is down, Sniper is going to arrive as well, kill off the Queen of Pain. Latrice is here, but with no Whirling Axes, this Troll Warlord is going to be fairly useless. Bakemono, in fact, going to turn things around, looking for a couple more points of damage onto everyone else. It's going to be an even 1-for-1 down towards bottom. Alpha forced to use 2 TPs, and I think in that regard it's fine, but this is the weakness of a jungling Troll Warlord. You need the Fervor, you need the Rage, therefore, so you have to cut something. He can't really do anything, and that's very similar to like jungling Legion commanders. They just typically don't do anything.
I would have liked to see him maybe pass up one of the points in the Berserker's Rage for a point into the axes. The scaling on that is pretty nice for movement speed to get you around the jungle, and the extra Bast duration is also useful. But I think it's definitely worth just having that extra blind and extra chasing power with the slow.
Yeah, maybe just get one level up for value. It's probably going to be better, but he's I'm sure he knows what he's doing more so than I do at the very least. Over towards mid, Bakemono is going to get a finger to the face, and that's not what you want to have happen as Sniper. Lion is actually starting to go off, and we were talking before about how if a Lion has a really good start, grabs a fast blink dagger, he can just be, in complete control of the entire game. He's not getting an amazing start, but it's a lot better than starts usually are for Lions.
Yeah, definitely. So, in fact, he's pretty much on par with his own mid lane, and usually that's a pretty bad sign, and it is, in all honesty, currently a level behind the Sniper. But still, this Lion is going to be getting a very fast blink dagger, at least he should be, as long as he's able to gank every time he has that finger up and ready.
Yeah, it's not too frequent, but hey, whenever he does have it, he will be able to insta-give people, so Rize, if they just play this very slowly, I think in general they should have a decent shot at a late game scenario, but it's going to be a little bit iffy if then. But right now they should be happy with where they are. Unfortunately, up towards top, Crush is so dead right now. Omni Slash is going to almost completely do him in. Spin will get the final hits in, and Centaur is going to take his 4th death, 5th death of the game. This guy's not even level 6 yet.
Yeah, just a really poor situation to be in. The power of the amplified magic damage with that maxed out Blade Fury is really scary, and at this point, it doesn't really feel like they need it. As long as Juggernaut has the Omni Slash, he's pretty much able to get kills non-stop. 5-1-1. I don't think you can really ask for a better start. They're going to glyph this tier 1 tower to delay that a little bit, and maybe they can secure a deny, but well, for the most part, Alpha are looking really good, at least in their 2 top farming positions. Blade Fury going to fly through onto LurGG, not able to secure that kill by himself. They'll throw a slow, the Sonic Wave going to land onto Miggy, but he's able to run away. There's just not enough damage to follow up.
Not enough mana on Jalopy. He should have had that kill, I think, if he had just a little bit more mana, but unfortunately it just wasn't to be. That being said, they get the tower deny anyway, so they kept it alive trying to bait him in, but unfortunately they get a tower deny while the Queen of Pain wanders up to the top lane. Mid lane is going to be destroyed, so either way, Alpha get their tower and they get away with all their heroes as well. The game is going pretty well for Alpha. I think the only way it could be going much better is if their Batrider had a blink. Down towards bottom lane, tower is going to be destroyed. Hari is going to come right in. Luckily for him, the Bristle and Troll Warlord decide to back off.
Yeah, in the end, it's a 2-for-1 tower trade in the favor of Rize, and they get the denial. So that's some much-needed gold for their team, and it's going to catch them back up nicely. This is very fast Vanguard up for the Bristleback, and he's primed to be able to fight very nicely. We have the Helm of Dominator and a double damage rune onto Matrix. For now, it's not really open up to him to go for a Roshan, but he'll just continue farming away.
Yeah, he's pretty much get under no pressure, and with this build that he has right now, he could clear the jungle. Even if he didn't have double damage, he could clear any portion of the jungle without losing any HP. So he can sit there forever, for however long he wants to, which is, for Rize, probably going to be pretty long. Like, the Blink Dagger on Centaur is also a very, very long ways off, and Blink Dagger for anyone else isn't really going to be coming up either. So for Rize, they're going to take kills where they can get it, but those kills are probably going to be few and far between.
Yeah, I think so as well. We do have that Finger of Death up for LurGG, so maybe they're able to catch somebody off guard, but yeah, for now both teams are just going to sit on their advantage, so to speak, and they'll just go ahead and farm up on their side of the map. And it's looking pretty even. All things considered, the net worth chart is slightly in the favor of Alpha, but not unsurmountably so, and the XP is pretty much dead even.
And so both teams are going to be fine chilling for just a little while longer. Actually, looking back towards the Juggernaut, he's going for a very kind of old Juggernaut build. Like, before Juggernaut really got hot, before he was this huge first pick, first ban flavor of the month hero where you just max out Blade Dance, you would go for this type of build. Just get very balanced stats, go for like a Manta style or something like that while maxing out your Blade Fury. This is a pretty cool way to go. I thought it was always the best way to go, but who knows? We'll see if this Juggernaut will find success, and given his score and given the amount of free farm he's getting, this build seems to be working out, because without this build, they probably couldn't have killed the Centaur that many times.
Yeah. For the Sniper, it's going to be hand of Midas for him, so Alpha are going to abuse the fact that Rize really aren't in any situation to fight right now, and just make sure the Sniper gets guaranteed farm, and he'll continue to do so. Alpha will push up towards top lane with a handful of Eidolons, and with a healing ward at the ready, they can feasibly put some pressure into this tier 2. We'll have to see if Rize react.
Yeah, they have a mech, they have a black hole, and they have not a level 2 Omni Slash, but that's not really necessary. They're going to get killed a Bat Rider in the meantime, slowing down his Blink Dagger by just a little bit. He was at 1900 gold or something like that, but a kill on the Bat Rider, as nice as it is going to cost them a tier 2 top lane. They're kind of rotating in, but they have no Finger of Death because they literally just used it. They're going to mount a pseudo defense, but this is pretty much just a bluff. They're just trying to buy a little bit of time. This tower is going to fall, and the scary thing is that Alpha, if they really, really wanted to, they could just keep going with the mech and the black hole still in tow.
Yeah, tower denial does come out from Rize. Second tower deny of the game. Stampede going to be spent as they chase forward, looking for the black hole. Honey can't actually get the cast off. He's hexed up a little too fast, looking for the turn. He gets Earth Spiked and double edged down. Sonic Wave going to be thrown through, but doesn't hit that many. The Assassinate over into the line. It's going to be the end of his life, and now Miranda's going to eat the Omni Slash to the face. 2 for 1 is going to be our kill score for now, and Sniper picks up yet another one onto the Centaur. Alpha find themselves with a big advantage in that last engagement.
Yeah, Troll Warlord, unfortunately, not there except for his battle trance, but also Rize, they had to fully commit to the Enigma because they were all grouped up. Like Bristleback Lion, the Centaur, they were all just chasing after the Enigma. Enigma had 2 opportunities to get black holes off, but the chain stun from Rize was more or less perfect. But because they had to focus the Enigma so much, they ignored everyone else. So Sniper got a healthy distance away. Miggy was able to right-click so many times throughout that, and Omni Slash as well, doing the deal versus that Bristleback. So Rize, they take a really sketchy fight once again, and it just doesn't work out for them. Black Hole is still held now by the Enigma, and with that power, with the farm power that Bat Rider has had in the past couple minutes, they'll have a Blink Dagger, they'll have a way to start the fights on their own terms. They could look for Roshan or bottom lane towers.
Yeah, and I think either way is a pretty good course of action. Probably go for the tier 1 tower bot and then back off for Roche if they actually want to go for that Roshan, just to deny any teleport tethers that Rize could theoretically have. Right now, Alpha are the ones in control and can pretty much command this game. Jalopy on the Queen of Pain really doesn't have what you'd like to at this point in the game. The Quap just hasn't been able to find very many pickoffs and has no farm either.
The bright side is, though, that Lion is stepping up his game. Blink Dagger, 14 minutes. Not the fastest Blink Dagger online I've ever seen, but still incredibly fast, all things considered. So even though Queen of Pain might be dropping the ball somewhat in this game, Lion is going to be picking that up and running with it. So a Blink Hex, even though it is only level 1, or a Blink Spike right on top of someone like a Sniper or an Enigma, that could instantly win you that fight. So as long as the Lion keeps it a secret, and so far it is a secret, then Alpha, they're in for quite a surprise. Their surprise in the Bat Rider holding a Blink is going to be less surprising because at this point, Bat Riders should have a Blink. So Rize, I'm sure, are going to be expecting it.
They're going to set their sights on the Juggernaut up top, and it looks like Jug might just be straight up dead if he doesn't back up now, and he is going to do so, and the Radiant team isn't smoked up, but they have an invis on the Quap, so maybe, just maybe, they can catch him out. With a Blink Hex into a Finger of Death, I think that pretty much just straight up kills the Jug, even though he has gone for a very nice efficient stat build. He's only sitting on 1100 HP or so, and with the Sonic Wave as well as Finger of Death, that gets eaten through very quickly.
Well, he's going to get to a little bit of safety in his tower. The problem is right now is that Troll is in lane. His bash goes through the spin. The Sonic Wave is pure, so that goes through the spin as well. And of course, if you're hexed and spiked up, you will not get a chance to spin. So Miggy, if he gets a single disable on him, even if he doesn't, he's in a little bit of trouble. Jalopy is so far hidden. There's the blink. There's the jump in. Miggy's going to take a Finger of Death Sonic Wave as well. Juggernaut down. Death Gun is going to come in, do what he can, but what he can do is not that much because Stampede is there. Matrice is going to chase forward for this Skywrath Mage. Gets lassoed in the process, though. Mystic Flare combination. Matrice is going to take a fall at the same time. Lion picked apart by the Sniper. Tower is going to stand, and Queen of Pain is going to blink out, but that's a 1 for 2 that I'm not really sure Rize are going to be comfortable taking.
No, definitely not. If they only lose the Lion, maybe they're okay with that, but also losing the Troll, who up until now has pretty much been untouched. And immediately after the fact, Alpha are going to be able to put some pressure on this lane. Even though there aren't any towers for them to take, it's still going to be something that Rize have to deal with.
And any ounce of pressure that you could put onto the top lane is going to protect your top lane tier 1, and to a lesser extent, it's probably going to protect your mid tier 1 as well. Rize are going to be unwilling to go for an aggressive tower push with just a couple heroes, because so far when Rize have been going out with just a couple heroes, it hasn't really been working out for them. Well, because Alpha, they just have so much power in this Juggernaut and Sniper right now. Sniper doesn't even have a completed item. It's actually pretty surprising. Okay, no, he has a Maelstrom flying out to him, so he's got that going for him. Juggernaut has the Sange and Yasha. These two heroes are pretty much exactly where they want to be, maybe even a little bit further than that, but their power level is going to be so high that going for Roshan now is going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah, with the sustain coming out from the healing ward, they can very easily do it. They'll open things up with the smoke, and they have all of their ultimates at the disposal, except for the lasso from Batrider, but that's up in a couple of seconds anyway. They are just going to go straight up for the Roshan, and, well, as you said, they should be able to do this. I don't think Rize are in any situation where they can actually contest, even if they were all in position.
Yeah, they have okay fighting in the Roshan pit, but you're walking into a Roshan pit up against a black hole, and usually that's bad enough. Omni Slash and Batrider on top of that is just a nightmare, so they're going to clear Roshan while taking very, very low amounts of damage thanks to that healing ward, and that's going to be a double life for the sniper. Now that they have that Aegis, bottom lane is looking pretty tasty. This tier 1 has yet to be really touched, and they still have that Batrider with a Blink Dagger, so this should be a clear course of action. Also, unfortunately for Rize, Jalopy has no mana, so he's going to have to back off if they want to make a defense. It's going to be very delayed.
Yeah, definitely so. I think this tier 1 tower is as good as dead. It's probably going to be Rize just making a call that they'll mount a defense at the tier 2 if they can even afford to do that. Right now, they'll try to put as much pressure as they can at top and mid, and maybe, just maybe, this is enough to pull back Alpha, but their pushing speed is a little too fast, it feels.
Yeah, bottom lane is going to fall. It looks like it's going to be a 2-for-1. Battle Trance is active. Fortification going to do double duty, actually. They might get 2 fortifies as top and mid are going to refresh that fortification. It's going to be Lure GG to be in the most trouble. Carpet of Shrapnel right now. Hari needs to get a little bit closer for that Malphus, but I don't think they can. Blink Dagger out from Lure. No, it's available, but it's not even needed. They hold on to their mid lane tier 1, but it's actually in deny range, so Alpha probably should look towards that. Still, it's a tower for tower trade overall.
Yeah. Considering the position they're in, Rize are going to be pretty darn happy with that. Oh my goodness, Finger of Death! Lure GG found a Skarath Mage. He was not there for very long.
And Skarath Mage was pretty close to his allies as well. Lure GG going to take an Assassinate to the Dome for his efforts, but still getting a snipe off on anyone as Lion. If you could do it that safely, then you might as well go ahead and take it. Matrice up towards top lane is still pushing out. This Troll Warlord is sitting on quite a lot of dangerous items, like he has a crit in his stash. He could man fight with the best of them, and even more so now that he has 2 points in Whirling Axes, get some additional blind going. But this Troll Warlord, if he grabs a BKB, is going to be, or no, probably doesn't even need a BKB. He's going to be a Juggernaut, and, well, maybe even more so than the Juggernaut.
Yeah. He's going to go ahead, clear a couple of jungle camps, and then back out. For now, Rize have weathered the storm. Alpha doesn't look like they're going to be able to do much else with this Aegis, other than just farm up their jungle safely.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be a little bit more of a passive stage, and this is something that's perfectly okay with Rize. They have the Blink Dagger now on the Centaur, which is nice, although it's not really, all that you want on the hero right now. They're getting a lot of farm on the Troll Warlord. They're getting a lot of farm on the Bristleback, and both of those two heroes can go nuts later on, especially with the Battle Trance and combined power of Stampede. So Alpha, they should be playing this a little bit more aggressively, I feel, especially considering the fact they have the Aegis.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. They're going to be smoked up with the Skarath Mage as well as the Batrider, and these two heroes can pretty easily kill pretty much anybody on Rize if they can catch them out in their full combination, which they should be able to do. And maybe, just maybe, they'll run into the Troll. He's been spotted out by a Dire Observer ward, but is backing out. He farms the jungle a little too fast for them to actually catch him.
They're looking for someone, but it's going to be the tower that's ultimately going to take the heat. Fortification is available right now for Rize, and knowing there's an Aegis on the enemy sniper, they're going to be really hesitant about defending this. If Queen of Pain had only 200 more gold, this defense would be so much easier. At least it would stall Alpha out for so much longer. You just Sonic Wave the Creep Wave and you're golden. But instead, they're wrapping around with Crush, who is so far spotted by Dire Observers. So wherever the Centaur goes, he will most likely be spotted. So Alpha, they're looking for a fight right now. They're itching for one, mostly because they want to use this Aegis. But even if they don't get it, they'll take the tier 1 tower, tier 2 tower rather, and they'll be happy with it.
Yeah, Aegis is going to be reclaimed in about a minute and a half, but that shouldn't dissuade them too much. Concussive shot to disengage. The Bristleback can't chase any further, and it looks like they're going to be fine. However, the Centaur has been lassoed up into the Mystic Flare. He's going to be burst down in a heartbeat. The Sonic Wave is thrown out. They're going to get a nice stun off, and they will lose their Juggernaut in the midst of all of that, but the Sniper's been sitting at the back lines the whole time. Blink forward, laying the Firefly down, and out the slow coming out from the Sniper. Lure GG also going to excuse me, kick the bucket. Queen of Pain, the only survivor, she blinks back to base.
Oh man, you gotta get to the sniper in any game at all in Dota ever. If you don't get on top of that sniper, you're just asking for trouble. And Bakemono has a type of build well, maybe not like the full type of build that will punish you for doing that. That'll involve a Mask of Madness, but still, it's Alpha having enough of a front line, even though it was very flimsy, to keep that sniper in the back. And to a lesser extent, it was the Enigma doing that. Even though he was focused down very quickly, Rize have to go for that Enigma first. Otherwise, a black hole means you're never going to catch up to that sniper. So Rize, they're slowly falling further and further behind, and they don't even take out the Aegis, the sniper. Hell, I don't even know if they hit him a single time.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a black hole actually cast by Harry, but it seems that just the threat of it is enough to keep Rize on their feet. And, well, it's keeping Bakemono safe. His Aegis is going to be expiring pretty shortly here, so they aren't going to have that advantage to work with. But I'll say that what Alpha have gotten from it has been worth it for them. One tier 2 tower and a tier 1 as well.
Yeah, and a couple of good fights, so it's not exactly getting value off the Aegis, but it's forcing them to play in such a way that is, threatening enough for the Rize side. And they still have a black hole, which is just never going to be used, assuming the Hari always dies. But hell, that's going to be fine as long as they keep the sniper alive. Looks like even without that Aegis, Alpha feel comfortable enough going for this push. And it's a little bit risky because going up against this tier 2 tower, you have to worry about heroes coming in from behind. But they have an Observer Ward that'll hopefully keep them safe there. So this tower push, though riskier, is still going to be decently safe.
Yeah, and they are sitting on pretty much all of their spells at the ready, and Rize, they'll need to TP back with a lot in order to actually mount a defense. As they're pushing top and mid, tier 2 tower is going to fall without any contention coming up from the Radiant side.
And they're going to teleport back and be able to hold on to everything else as well. They could have probably gone for a little bit more, but with no Aegis advantage, no cheese or anything like that, there's no sense in pushing it unnecessarily. So they'll fall back for now, and now they have all the tier 2 towers down. The course of action for Alpha should be, well, hopefully not lose Death Gun. Blink forward, Jalopy going to get Lasso, but Crush is there with Hoof Stomp. Death Gun going to die. Now Shemad going to take a Sonic Wave to the face. That's going to be 2 kills for Rize, and those kills are so desperately needed at this point.
Really nice counter initiation coming out from Crush.
Top.
Oh, they are going to find potentially
okay.
a little bit more. Nothing actually happens. Troll's just able to run out of there.
Yeah, Troll Warlord was thinking about going in, and he has the movement speed too, for sure. Actually moving at hasted movement speed when he has that speed aura from the little Cold Bolt guy, but deciding not to take a man fight with Bakemono.
Yeah, Juggernaut was potentially there to maybe have a wraparound, but yeah, it's going to be completely diffused. Alpha just lose 2, and that's going to be all she wrote, although Queen of Pain is invised up right on top of Harry. There is no Orchid or any way to actually lock him down, and no backup close, so if she gets this kill, it's going to have to be a solo one. We'll have to see if Harry's willing to commit a black hole.
Well, he has the mech and 12 stick charges. Jalopy needs someone else here. You can't insta-gib this Enigma. He's going to try, do what he can, but mech, stick, and, well, it looks like he did no damage, Jalopy. He's got to get out now. Luckily for him, he's not getting it with the lasso, although bumped back a little bit. Shemad looking for it, but he doesn't quite have it available. Blink up to the high ground. Jalopy looking to TP out. Omni-Slash Vision. Mystic Flare, not quite enough. And the Queen of Pain will get out alive, and testing the boundaries of her burst, and it's not even enough to kill off an enemy Enigma.
Yeah, it's just really not been Queen of Pain's game. Like, really would like to snowball, or at the very least be able to control the tempo a little bit, but just not the case. I thought that Omni-Slash would be in range of that TP. Maybe the recent range nerf is going to be affecting that.
Yeah, maybe if he was up on this high ground instead of down in the low ground, it would have been just enough, but either way, letting the Queen of Pain go isn't really a huge deal for Alpha since they didn't lose much of anything there anyway. A little bit of mana spent, a couple cooldowns, no one really cares about that. So they're just going to be staying the course, waiting for the Roshan, which is going to be happening in about a minute time. So that's going to be the fight that is the most important for Rize to contest, but they probably just can't contest it very well unless they get really lucky with their angles of initiation or something like that. It's going to be bad times for them. Jalopy is going to be spotted by Bakemono as he jumps to the high ground. He's going to get silenced before he can blink down, and that's going to be a free kill on the Queen of Pain. And blinking randomly across trees, up cliffs, sometimes it's not going to work because sometimes there's a sniper on the other end.
Yeah, I think the Queen of Pain was actually looking to kill off the sniper. He was showing over to the creep wave, but the dire vision over the Quap was just a little too much. Blink in, Earthspike, Finger of Death onto Harry. They're trying to bring him down from the low ground, but the misses as well as the mechanism are going to keep him alive. BKB on Matris. Is that enough to save him? Not from the Omni-Slash, and they're not grouping up enough. He's immediately killed off, and the creep wave is also going to suffer a similar fate. 2 core heroes down for Rize as Alpha are now poised to maybe look for a high ground push.
Man, that pink Omni Slash looks pretty darn sweet, and Miggy's going to take that one all the way home to the bank. BKB on Troll Warlord. I mentioned it before, but quickly disregarded it because Lasso goes through, the Enigma Black Hole goes through, Omni Slash goes through. It's not really going to keep him that safe, but it's kind of necessary. Otherwise, he's just going to have to charge through, some the Flame Break, the Napalm, the Firefly, and of course the spin from the Juggernaut, which is maxed out. It's a lot of magic damage you have to avoid, but it's not going to save him. So they'll take down the tier 3. They still have the healing ward there, so Alpha have, they have still the healing ward there. It will be destroyed eventually, but Sonic Wave is already used, and it almost seems like it wasn't used because everyone in Alpha is still at full HP.
Yeah, Alpha is still going to maintain this push. Maybe it's a little bit overzealous, but they still have that ultimate coming out from the Enigma, and they're going to start chunking away at this melee barracks. Blinking Lasso, they find themselves the line, and without Lure GG, can they actually take this fight? We'll see. 4-7, the center is obliterated as Bakemono gets a double kill. TP going to be cancelled out by the Troll, and that pretty much ensures that the melee barracks is going to fall.
And Miggy got a delivery of an AC mid-fight there. The Troll's going to come in, but Hari still has this black hole and a Blink Dagger, which is used to set up that black hole, but I don't even know if we're going to see a black hole this game. Alpha, they get what they came for. They don't force out any buybacks or anything like that, so it's not, amazing, but Rax is down 28 minutes in, is still pretty darn good. So Alpha, they're going to back off, wait for their next round of items, and we'll just rinse and repeat. Clearly, Rize can't do too much about it, and I think even if Rize had all 5 of their heroes there ready to defend, it would have been a really rough fight for them, a fight that they probably would have lost.
Roshan now going to be taken out by Alpha. Second life for one of their cores. Who that's going to be is a different story entirely. Looks like it's going to be the Juggernaut. Bakemono really just hasn't been pressured at all this game. 10-1 and 6. The Sniper's only death really hasn't slowed him down at all, and he's going to be working on towards his next item. Whatever that may be, Rize just don't have a way to get into his face and to actually kill him off.
Yeah, now is about the time where Alpha, or clearly it's about the time for them to look towards high ground. So, though it's not really the most standard of items, a Desolator would be pretty darn good on the Sniper. I mean, again, he's not under any pressure, so going for a pure damage item would be reasonable. And, that would help them a little bit more. Getting the minus armor from 2 sources of items, this AC and Deso, will make pushing up high ground a cakewalk for Alpha. So, if he wants to go for that, fine. Otherwise, there's nothing wrong with the butterfly, and he has a lot of gold to work towards that as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, Alpha, we're grouped up. Maybe they're looking for a smoke, and maybe this Radiant Observer Ward is going to spot it out. But we'll just have to see how that plays out. For now, both teams are going to be chilling, although Rize are making an aggressive move onto the Sniper. Maybe, just maybe, they can kill off Bakemono.
Well, Bakemono is not there anymore, so that was... Okay, well, he's going to pick up the Desolator to help for the high ground push, and he's going to get away as well. The line is drawn. They want bottom lane, and with the Aegis on the Juggernaut, with a fresh Deso on the Sniper, I don't know if there's much that Rize can do outside of hope for a 3-4-man hoof stomp, Sonic Wave through everyone. Maybe Lion gets a fantastic initiation, but any defense that they make is most likely going to require them to use some buybacks.
Yeah, Battle Rider currently smoked up. He's not going to bump into the Troll. Daytime Vision maybe spots him out. Up in the high ground, no place a ward. And this is pretty much instantly spotted out by Rize and should be taken out eventually. But at the very least, it's going to give them intel that Rize are there. But do they care at all? With the Aegis onto the Juggernaut and that Sonic Wave really not doing anything. Alpha are going to continue on this high ground push. 2-3 towers as good as dead.
They can't really do anything. Bakemono's standing from like 3 miles out, just firing away. Vision given to him by Shrapnel, which is not what he planned to do. They wanted that ward to do it, but hey, whatever works, right? That's 1 tower down, and Miggy going to go straight up to the high ground, looking for an Omni Slash target. Doesn't really want to use it on the Bristleback. Instead, it's going to be Shemad. Off to the side to get the Finger of Death. He will be going down. Hari Force tapped in, but he doesn't want to launch the Black Hole just yet. Omni Slash through is going to kill off the Centaur. In the meantime, it's going to be Miranda in the front lines, who is going to come with the Black Hole. First one of the game is going to catch 3 heroes. Doesn't get much better than that. Jalopy also walking into it as well. Assassinate? Not quite in range. There it is. This is going to be Rest in Peace, Queen of Pain. No, she's going to survive just barely, but Bristleback is going to buy back for what? He's going to turn his back and not take that much damage, but he kind of needs to be doing a little bit more than that because the mid lane and bottom lane are soon to fall. Alpha only lose their Bat Rider. It's over.
If you can average 4 heroes hit by the Black Hole, I think it's a successful game. Alpha going to find themselves the one fight that they need to close it out, and, well, we'll have Game 2 coming up shortly. We'll have to see if it's going to be a comeback and end up being a standard jDL 1-1.